Hit it. Welcome, 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 welcome. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. I'm Spitface, and I'm pleased to be here. And we want to welcome our host, the First Lady of Sports Talk, Cheryl Smith. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm very excited about this show this morning, and you want to know why? We'll talk about it later. But no, I'll tell you why.
We'll talk about the tease. The tease.
Tease. Yes, we'll tease it.
All right. Now, this week on Shout Out, we have music from Will Downing. I have not heard that name in a long time. Will he find his shining star or get the cold feel of the mute button? That's right. I put it like this. You may have props, but we see how you do on Shout Out. First Lady, we're ready. What you saying?
Okay, well, before we say what I'm saying, I am so pleased that Will Downing is going to have some new music because he is one of my favorites of all time. But anyway, each week
I do have a hint of biasness. or it could go the other way because sometimes that standard can get raised and it's like, oh man, you're trying to meet an old standard. We shall see.
All right. Each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea, fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The Boston Celtics wish they could fly far, far away from a Game 2 loss handed to them by the Miami Heat. Are the Celtics being outcoached, outplayed, and being left discombobulated? Is the Heat versus Nuggets matchup starting to sound interesting? If the Celtics get swept or suffer a gentleman's sweep, is the coach going fishing with Doc Rivers? Is it time for Spoelstra to get some serious props? What does Heat legend Dwayne Wade say? Marvelous Marvin Hagler, rest in peace, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Oh, my goodness, Spitface. Yes, Eric Spoelstra is running rings around the Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla. Hell yeah, he's being outcoached. I mean, he is really being outcoached. I mean, the Celtics, I'm going to the first game. I know we're in game 2, getting ready to get played game 3, but I have to go to the first game because we haven't talked about these games yet. The Celtics didn't score for, I think it was like 6.5 minutes. The Heat won the third quarter in the first game, 46-25. Mazzulla never called a timeout during the Heat massive run. The only timeout that was taken in that third quarter was a mandatory TV stoppage that, they had to take the TV stoppage. And he claims he used the 2 timeouts in the first quarter and didn't want to use the third timeout in the third quarter. And he said they needed to figure it out. Well, are you kind of crazy? How to figure it out? Well, damn it, they didn't figure it out because, they was completely blown off the court in the third quarter. They had a 9-point lead going into the third quarter, and they didn't score for 6.5 minutes of the third quarter. So, why are you not calling a timeout to stop at least the flow of the Miami Heat? The Miami Heat scored a record 46 points in that quarter. That is a playoff record. So that just tells you how they really blew the Celtics off of the court. And the coach talking about they need to figure out things. This is ridiculous. And, the other issue, too, he didn't address the issue in the fourth quarter when Jason Tatum didn't take one shot in the entire fourth quarter of the game. And you wonder why the Celtics didn't win that game. Now, game 2, Boston Celtics, again, is a team that is probably the worst team in the league. When they have a lead going into the fourth quarter, they cannot hold on to their lead. They become disorganized. They become very sloppy with the ball. They had an 89-77 lead going into the fourth quarter, and they lost the game. They lost the game because they just could not perform productive minutes in the fourth quarter, whereas the Miami Heat, I think what it is, the Miami Heat is number one in clutch performances, where the Celtics are just about last in clutch performance. And it proved again the Heat outsmarted, I'm going to say outcoached in that fourth quarter. They definitely did outcoach, Spoelstra definitely outcoached Missoula in that fourth quarter again. And, of course, the big thing, I mean, everybody said it was a big thing, but, you know, it was a big thing because Grant Hill did poke the bear. He woke up Jimmy Butler, because at the point when Grant Hill started talking smack to Jimmy Butler was having a decent game, but he wasn't having one of those Jimmy Butler game or playoff Jimmy game at that point. But my goodness, when he got into that shouting match with Grant Williams, it was over. Jimmy Butler went off, and the Heat won the game. So, yeah, the Celtics are down 2 games that they didn't win at home. So now they got to go on the road to at least win 1 or 2 of those games. Actually, in fact, they need to win both of the games. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to say that they can't do it, because they've been here before. I don't think they've ever been down 2. I can't remember, but they've had to go on the road to win big games. So they are accustomed to doing it. But this Miami Heat team, they are destined, they are focused, they want to win a title for Jimmy Butler. Now, if the Celtics are swept, which I don't think they will be swept, but if they lose in a gentleman's sweep, Coach Missoula will not be fired. President Brad Stevens, he knew this coach was a young coach when he hired him. Like I said, I think we were texting back and forth, Spitface, and I said that the Celtics darn well should have kept Ime Udoka, and they got rid of him because of some nonsense that was a personal situation, and they should have kept him, because I think if they had kept him, this situation they wouldn't be in this situation that they're in now. He is a young coach, Missoula, but they will allow him to grow this year, but next year will be the telling season. If they don't win anything this year, next year will be the telling season. Now, as far as Coach Spoelstra, he doesn't really need any serious props. I mean, everybody always has said he was a great coach. He's been well respected as a great coach. Now, of course, when he had Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, people were saying he was a lucky coach. But you have to understand, this current Heat team has gone to the finals in the bubble in 2020. I believe 2021 they got swept by the Milwaukee Bucks. But in 2022, they were, you remember last year, they were 1 point, well, actually 3. Jimmy Butler missed a 3-pointer pretty much at the end of the game, which would have sent them to the finals. You remember they went to 7 games with the Celtics. So, so this team has been here before. That's why everybody keeps saying the fact that the Heat team has all of these undrafted players. But these undrafted players have played together with each other for at least 3 seasons. So it's not surprising to me. Obviously, I've been a Heat season ticket holder for almost 20 years, and I decided to give up my seats this year because, I am not a Jimmy Butler or a Kyle Lowry fan, but that's not the reason why I gave up my seats anyway. But I'm just saying, I mean, this team has been together for a while, and these players like I forgot Gabe's last name, but Caleb, Martin, all of them, they have grown in the Heat organization, and we all know the Heat knows how to develop players, okay? They know how to do it. Duncan Robinson, he hasn't played well, and he has a high contract. Trust me, I'm quite sure Pat Riley is glad that Duncan Robinson's stock has gone high now, because he's ready to get rid of that contract, because that was the worst contract given. And it's going to be quite interesting. I'm just going to digress a little bit. It's going to be quite interesting to see if the Heat is going to bring back those undrafted players, because Gabe Vincent and Matt Strus, they are free agents. at the end of the season. So we already know Pat Riley got burned giving Duncan Robinson a high contract. It'll be interesting to see what he's going to do with Max Strus and Gabe Vincent. So I have a feeling teams will be getting on, they're definitely going to be offering them some money. And the question is, will Pat Riley decide to give them that big contract that they so deservingly look for? But anyway, I just think, it's going to be, I still think it's going to be a great series. And as far as if the Heat get into the finals and the Nuggets, obviously we're going to probably win because no team has ever won 4 games when they're down 3-0. So the Nuggets and the Heat, it's going to be an interesting matchup because the teams actually are very similar in their style of play. So that's what's going to make it very interesting. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But this series is not over with. I'm not counting the Boston Celtics out. I think they still got a little fight left in them. On paper, they are the better team, but being the better team on paper does not translate to win. You got to do it on the court, and you got to leave it on the court. All right, Spitface, what you saying about this?
Okay, First Lady. First off, the butler keeps serving it up. He keeps serving it up at the right time. And you had said something about poking the bear. Hey, like they say, don't pull on Superman's cape. Don't do it. Don't do it. You will get burned. I'm pretty sure the Celtics wish they could fly far, 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 far away from the whoopings that they've been taking at home, not on the road. At home, you getting spanked bad. So that does not bode well for a comeback. It sounds like somebody about to get knocked out. Now, if it's a gentleman's squeak or if it's a squeak, unlike the NFL, the NBA is not trying to get rid of young black head coaches. The NBA has been pretty good about we'll sit, unless you're just a disaster, we're gonna give you a shot. You're gonna get a fair shot. Well, sometimes not so fair, but most of the time you get a pretty fair shot. Now, so Missoula, they understand. They're not trying to do any further damage to their team with a sudden coaching change. And now it's up to management to empower him and maybe look at some people, what they can get during free agency and add to the team to strengthen they whole. So, but next year you get whooped like this. Missoula, like you said, First Lady, Missoula is out. And Spoelstra, he gives props. Now he doesn't get Greg Popovich props, and he doesn't get Pat Riley props. And and that's the thing is he plays for an organization that has Pat Riley as the head man. Now, you got a NBA legend as a head coach, and you got a head coach. So, it's going to be rough on getting props, unless you can at least duplicate that. And it's like, how the hell are you going to duplicate that? I mean, you need some serious breaks to be able to duplicate that. But, and then if there is a lucky coach, it has got to be it's got to be Phil Jackson. Come on. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and then you go to a team with Shaq and Kobe Bryant. A young Kobe Bryant. Come on. I put it like this. You are very, very lucky as a head coach. And that disaster that Phil Jackson laid on the New York organization, that coaching points should get deducted. we take away a whole ring, because of that disaster. Just, So I digress. But again, unlike the NFL, the NBA is not trying to get rid of their black coaches, and especially the young ones who they know that you got to groom the coaches like you had to groom young players to build the kind of organization. That's why there is some longevity in the NBA. And Doc's going to get, unless Doc says, you know what, I'm tired of coaching, I done my thing, let me go to the booth and see if I can make some big money there. He's going to get another job as a head coach, not as nobody's assistant, as a head coach. And that's a big distinction. In the NFL, who knows? Who knows? It's anybody's guess what's going on there. But again, I digress. And personally, that's all. And as far as what Dwayne Wade's saying, Dwayne Wade is saying, get him. That's what Dwayne Wade's saying, get him. That's all I'm saying, First Lady.
Okay. I don't know why you would bring up, what's his name? Phil Jackson in my presence, because you're right. We are angry Knicks fan when we talk about Phil Jackson. Oh, my goodness. He was a great coach, but he was a horrible president of basketball operations. And Spoelstra has actually won more titles with the Heat than Pat Riley did. Pat Riley only won one title with the Heat. Spoelstra has 2 titles with the Heat. And, but yeah, I don't know. I think he's still on that level with Popovich, because actually Popovich has had some bad seasons lately. I know, but he got that Banya. What's his name? that tall 7-footer from Paris, France. Now, I hope he played better than all the other all the other French players that came over to the United States. We'll see. We'll see.
You did not like Frenchie.
He's supposed to be a generational talent, so we'll see how that goes. But
you did not like Frenchie.
Well, no, because the Knicks had one of them, and we had Frank Ntilikina, and he never did anything. We could have drafted a couple other people ahead of him, and we could have had Donovan Mitchell, who fell after Frank Ntilikina. Okay,
Timmy, he's my man.
And don't let me get started with the Knicks draft, because we had the love for French people. We drafted Frederick Weiss back in, I forgot what year that was, that we could have had Ron Artest. And we drafted Frederick Weiss, who never came over to play with the Knicks. And if you remember, his biggest frame was when Vince Carter jumped over his head at the Olympics days. So we've never had a good luck with French players. And, of course, who else we have on our team who didn't even sniff any court time? That was Fournier, who's from France. Okay, I digress. We're going to use that a lot today. All right, spit things over to you.
All right, First Lady. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting fuckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering over the competition. I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? We are talking about the knockout punch to the ego of Anthony Davis and his LeBron-led Los Angeles Lakers. Are the Joker and company simply too much for the purple and gold? Are the Lakers being outplayed and outcoached? If the Lakers get swept or suffer a gentleman's sweep, is the coach going fishing with Doc Rivers? Is LeBron hiding his injuries, or is Father Mileage catching up with him? Would James Harden make a difference for the Lakers and get them a ring? Has this series lived up to the hype battle of the big men? Leroy Satchel Paige, Walter, Buck Leonard, and James Cool, Papa Bell are asking what you saying. First Lady, there is no way at the beginning of this series that I would have said that the Lakers would be looking at moving into an elimination situation. But here they are. And I just don't see how they coming back. You know, it's automatic that you 3-0. 149 series where the team was 3 resulted in them winning 149-0. So and I see no way that the purple and gold will buck that trend. Now, but what makes it worse? And Laker Nation, don't get mad. Look, I live in Texas. I'm in Houston. I got to deal with Dallas fans who are perpetually, their team is going to win it all. You know, despite any fact, rationale, damn near conspiracy theory that they have it, that the Dallas Cowboys always go to the Super Bowl every year and win it. So I don't put you purple and gold Laker fans in that category because y'all like star players. And y'all will go, well, look, you ain't won no championship, I mean, y'all at least a little discerning. So, but man, I'm looking at Anthony Davis, and look like he pretty much, amassing points, rebounds. But look like he playing his game. Okay, LeBron. I think LeBron got some nicks, aches, pains, whatever. And he's just been so conditioned that he's playing past it. But it is like, hey, ankle twist that during the season he would not play, or they would limit his time. Well, hey, it's supposed to go home, So he's gonna put it all out there, and what's gonna happen? How you feel? I feel fine. Well, it looks like your foot, all the foot is good. Well, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? The man, a superstar, legend. So if he, no, I know I said ouch, but that was just, I did something, whatever. So he gonna play, but I look at it and I go, even for LeBron, he can't turn that up a notch and dominate like he did a few years ago. And it's not Father Time, it's Father Mileage. Father Mileage done caught up with them wheels. Now, would James Harden make a difference for the Lakers and get them a ring? You know what? As strange as could be, he might be able to. Because he could, that would be a team where he does not have to be the player you count on in the playoffs to come up big and win the games. If he in the playoffs, he can come up big once or twice. That could be the difference in a series and get them a ring. So I could see this. Now, has this series lived up to the hype battle of the big men? 3-0, you would think that it didn't. But, man, they've been battling. This has been a battle of the big men. Only Denver is kind of going, we bigger. So, First Lady, what you saying?
Denver, obviously, they are the better team. I mean, if you got a 3-0 lead, you are definitely a much better team than the Lakers. And, they definitely have proven that they're a better team. I'm not going to say the Lakers are being outcoached. I think Darvin Ham has done a great job, as well as Mike Malone. The big question, if the Lakers lose or swept or whatever, will they get rid of Darvin Ham? No. He has shown that he knows what he is doing. So they need to have some more continuity with Darvin Ham, and considering where he's been with a roster and the beginning of the season to the roster now, I would say that he's done a darn good job. Now, the reason why the Lakers are losing is because the Nuggets style is proven to be more effective than the Lakers style. The Nuggets are a fast-paced, run-and-gun type of team. They got the center in there that can do everything. He can rebound, he can score, and he can pass. He's always a walking triple threat. That's what Nikola Jokic is, a walking triple threat. And you have to say, Murray has just been outright one of the better players on the team. Now, like you said, Spitface, LeBron and AD really haven't had bad games. And, it's just that the Lakers can't not prevent the Nuggets for going on runs. I mean, they go on like a 10-0 run, 15-0 run. I mean, they go on these long runs, and the Lakers have to come back from these runs. And the Lakers are an older team. Yes, AD and LeBron are showing signs of the games, the fact that it is the games are like every other day. So that's going to impact LeBron and Anthony Davis more than it will the Nuggets. So, yes, I believe Father Mileage is catching up to LeBron, and I also think he still has a foot injury. They said most people wouldn't have come back from that foot injury, so he does have a foot injury, and it's still affecting him. But I'm not saying that's the reason why the Lakers are losing. The reason why the Lakers are losing is not because of LeBron and not because of AD. The reason why the Lakers are losing is because Jokic and Murray just have been far superior than AD and LeBron, and the Nuggets others are outplaying the Lakers others. So that's the reason why Denver has a 3-0 lead. And they just, every time the Lakers come back, the Nuggets go on a fantastic roll. It happened again in the fourth quarter, Game 3. The Lakers fought. They was down by 15 points, I believe, or 15-14. They fought to get even. They took the lead for a hot second, and then next thing you know, the Nuggets went on this fantastic roll again, and that was the game. It was over. They was hitting their three-pointers, and that's why they lost the game. So they just cannot stop those stretches where the Lakers are not scoring and the Nuggets are scoring at a fast pace. And you know what? I just don't think James Harden could help the Lakers. I mean, he couldn't even help the darn Sixers. And why would I think he could help the Lakers? Spitface. I know you said, but you think he would? No, the Lakers already got a ball-dominated player in LeBron James. Even though LeBron James really has not been that type of dominant ball carrier that he usually is. Usually he runs the offense. But they had D'Angelo Russell, who is their point guard, even though he's been horrible in this series, to be honest with you. I don't even think he sniffed the court on the fourth quarter. He played the second half, and many of the analysts thought he shouldn't even start the second half because he has just been, really bad. When you look at his plus-minus numbers, they're double digits. And when I mean double digits, they're in the 30s, negative in the 30s when he's on the court. And when he's off the court, positive in the 30s. So that's really saying something about D'Angelo Russell. And he's trying to get a new contract. So I don't know what's going to happen with him at the end of the season. But I just think James Harden would not be a good fit on this team. And as far as the big men, they have it has been a good contest between AD and Jokic. It's just that, Anthony Davis obviously is a better defensive player than Jokic, but Jokic is a better offensive player right now. But they have been dueling. I agree with you on that, Spitface. They definitely have been dueling each other. But the reason why, again, the Nuggets are winning is because they have the two best players on the court. That is Jokic and Murray, and that's the reason why they're winning.
Oh, thanks, lady. The two best players on the court, and one of them is not named LeBron. That in itself says a whole lot. All right. Well, First Lady, on that note, LeBron, look at that retirement package. First Lady, please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have a performance from one of my favorite male singers, Will Downing, on Shout Out Part 1.
Ah, yes. The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Will Downing.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. And today we are featuring Will Downing, who is not new independent, but he's been around, from Brooklyn, New York. They say Grammy-nominated R&B veteran whose rich voice and sophisticated mix of soul and jazz, with a career that spans over 36 years and 26 albums, Will Downing is one of the most versatile and loved voices of our time, known as the Prince of Sophisticated Soul. Now, I didn't know that. That's news to me. But anyway, DJ, let's hear Make You Mine.
I'm in love with you for so many reasons. You're the one I need through every season of my life. The sunshine in my day, at night my shining star. Yeah, you're everything to me, that's what you are, yeah. Words cannot express what you mean to me. Without you, girl, my life is incomplete. Girl, I gotta make you mine. I gotta make you mine again, yeah. Ooh, girl, I gotta make you mine. Ooh, yeah. 'Cause you're the best thing to happen in my life. I could talk to you off and on all day, sweet baby. Sometimes I just call with nothing to say other than I love you. Ooh, everywhere I go and everything I do, yeah. The finer things in life remind me of you. Yes, they do, yeah. Baby, when you smile, it chase the clouds away. Girl, you are the sunshine in my day. Ooh, girl, I gotta make you mine. Oh, mine. I gotta make you mine again. Yeah. Make you the best thing Girl, you make my life worthwhile. You're the missing piece to make my whole life complete. Girl, I gotta make you mine, oh mine. I gotta make you mine again, baby. Baby, I gotta make you mine, oh mine, oh mine, oh mine, oh mine. Yeah. Baby, you're the best thing to happen in my life. Ooh, girl, I gotta make you mine, make you mine, make you mine. I've gotta make you, gotta make you, gotta make you mine. Oh, mine, oh, mine. Oh, baby, make you, tell me what I gotta do.
First lady.
Okay, all right. That was Will. I'm sorry, I was just so mesmerized by Will Downing. Got a little bit caught up there. All right. All right. Well, I don't know about you, Spitface. You know, I already, like you said, I was a little biased to begin with, so I'm definitely going to shout out Make You Mine. It sounds like a typical Will Downing song, and it was smooth, and his voice is still, after all these years, still sultry and sexy. All right, I'm shouting out. You shouting out, Spitface?
Yeah, but of course I'm shouting the brother out. Now, there was this one part in the song where he said, make you mine again. Now, see, what that was for those who might have missed it, see, sometimes you got to make what's already yours back to being yours again. You know, as they say, what it took to get her or to get him, you don't just be stopping. You know, oh well, you know, now that no, it don't work like that. You got to come up with a new program. You know, so you got to keep making her mine or making him mine. You know, so I just thought I'd throw that little tidbit out there. But the brother was smooth. See, baby, you want to go out on a date too. I'm already. I'm looking now. Let's see. You know, maybe I make a phone call, get some wine and some bread and cheese, and do something. You know, we can sit, you know, get some popcorn and watch the game. You know, maybe we want to hook up right now.
Get Netflix and chill. All right. Okay. All right. On part 2 of Shout Out, we'll feature another track from Mr. Will Downing. However, is that the sound of our favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It?
They call him Flipper, faster than lightning. No one you see is smarter than he. And we know Flipper lives in a world full of wonder, lying there under the sea.
All right, Flipper is ready and set to go this morning. It's time for Flip It, where our hosts defend a point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. Now, we mentioned this player earlier. James Harden supposedly wants to come back to H-Town. Should the Rockets make that happen? Defend. They need veteran leadership, and Harden is still a superstar. Bring him back. It looks like things didn't quite work out in Cheesesteak City. the town of brotherly love. It don't quite looks like things really worked out for Harden being in the Eastern Conference. He most of his really good success came, with the Rockets, but was in the Western Conference, Oklahoma, Houston. Then he went out, all up east trying to, be fly, act like he's somebody, and ain't jack done happen. So I could see him saying, that home cooking down in H-Town was good. That nice hot weather was good. Yeah, people, the bearded one, that nostalgia set in. He's like, look, I want to come on back and I got more in the tank. And that's why I want to wrap it up. Now, the Rockets have a young team. And as they rebuild and do the work to get back to some type of relevance, they need some veteran leadership. And who else but the bearded one? He got props. He done the thing. And he is still a superstar. He is still a superstar. And since you don't have to count on him in the playoffs, with this young emerging team, bring them on back. First Lady, defend.
Well, the Rockets are, like you said, they're a very, very young team, and they really do not have a player that can bring leadership. So bringing in Harden would be a great addition. And, the thing is, too, Harden is more of a true point guard than what they currently have in Jalen Green. And I forgot the other guy's name. I think it's Chris. I can't remember his last name right now. But Jalen Green is their superstar, and he needs to learn with James Harden next to him. And but the thing is, James Harden would have to be the current version of himself, not the former version when he was playing in Houston before as that Houston Rocket player. He cannot be ball dominant, because the Rockets have a very talented core of players. They got Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, K.J. Martin, and even their center is excellent, Sengun. They're a very talented team, very talented. They can score with the best of them. They just don't play defense, but the other thing is they lose games in the fourth quarter a lot of times, and that's the problem. And that's where having a leadership from James Harden would definitely help them, because they are, they do have a lot of turnovers and a lot of inconsistencies, even though Harden is like that himself. But at least he'll be able to solidify their offense with leadership. So that's the reason why I think it would be great for James Harden to go to H-Town, and they need to make that move right away.
All right, First Lady, you say they need to make that move right away. But, this is flipping, where we flip the script and defend the opposing view. So we're going to defend. He is a superstar, but not the right fit for a team trying to create an identity. Something that was mentioned was that you would need James Harden to be the current James Harden. The James Harden who is not ball dominant. Ain't gonna happen on the Rockets. There's just too much history, too much giving Harden his way for that to happen smoothly. And with Harden on the team as a quote veteran leader, well, in his mind, veteran leader means give me the ball. Let me show you what to do. And for a team trying to create their own identity and build upon, he's not the right superstar. And, superstar right now, superstar, they need a homegrown superstar, not bring in somebody who you're going to have to pay maybe not, might not get, might not have to pay him the ton he got previously, but you're going to have to pay. So that's going to hit your salary. And again, don't see James Harden not being ball dominating. Just don't see that happen. There are veterans who are, quote, not superstars who would probably be better fits on that team and help and really help mold the younger players so that superstars arise. So, no, do not be James. If you want to come back and you want to get some gumbo, fine. You're welcome. But no, we don't need you on the Rockets. First Lady, defend.
You say we don't need James Harden on the Rockets. Yeah, I mean, James Harden is a superstar that currently needs to repair his image on the basketball court, not off the court, like Ja Morant. Ja Morant needs to repair his image off the court. Harden just needs to repair it on the basketball court. But however, in order for him to repair his basketball image, he needs to be that ball-dominating James Harden from his previous stint in Houston. This current team doesn't need that type of player. They don't need someone who is going to control the offense and dominate the offense and take all the shots and give them shots when he feels like giving them. They need someone with leadership who can make their current players better. Unfortunately, Harden really has never been able to make other players around him better, and he, especially if he goes to the older Harden, he plays, unfortunately, selfish basketball. And he's going to need to play selfish basketball in order to rejuvenate his career. It's just the way it's going to be. So he is not a fit for this team. This team, again, has a lot of great core players. They just need someone to help them out. I hate to say it. You know who they really need? But I don't know if he's going to be coming back. He may come back because he got a contract. If he gets traded, they need Chris Paul. He's the quintessential point guard that the Rockets need. I think Chris Paul would be better with this version of the Rockets than he was with the other version of the Rockets when he played alongside of James Harden. I really think that, no, this is what they need. They need somebody like Chris Paul, someone who will bring leadership. It's not going to be James Harden, So, Houston, you got a problem if you sign James Harden.
Well, on that note, First Lady, please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Up next, our favorite underwater friend on Flip It Part 2.
The bearded one.
Welcome back. You are still listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. Butt Kicking, where we look at all things in the world of combat sports, will return after the NBA playoffs. Sorry. It's time for our favorite underwater friend. It's time for Flip It Part 2. Victor Wembanyama is the consensus number one pick in the NBA draft. But who will be number 2 between Brandon Miller and Scoot Henderson? Panel, defend. It's Miller time. All right, Spitface, defend.
Unfortunately for Brandon and for Scoot, Wembanyama is the consensus number one pick. Because without him being in the draft, the argument would be Miller or Henderson. But as that worked out, and they ended up being now they're in contention for the number 2. It's, it's really going to be a challenge to decide which one is going to be the one. And I think the issue that a team will have and taken with Scoot is that if Miller ends up being fantastic and Scoot ends up being quite not so good, somebody might have egg on their face. Now, Scoot has some certain advantages. His main advantage is he got a name called Scoot. Scoot gonna do it. Scoot, get on out there, Scoot. Scoot on out. So that's already in his favor. But at the end of the day, coming from a hip place, it's, hey, Miller time. The champagne, Miller time. So, in a close competition, you got to go with Miller time. So, First Lady, I'm rolling with Miller.
That's all right. That's all you're saying. You're rolling with Miller. Well, I mean, Scoot, in the beginning of when they start looking at the draft pick, Scoot actually was the consensus number 2 because, like you said, everybody knew Victor Wembanyama was going to be the number 1 pick. It was just a matter of who was going to get him. And, of course, the San Antonio Spurs, they have a knack for getting big men in the draft. All right? You remember they got the Admiral, and then next thing you know, they got the fundamental, Tim Duncan. They had a bad season, and they were able to get the Duncan in the number 1 pick. Now they had another bad season, and look who they got, Victor Wembanyama. I don't know. I think this is a fix. I really think the NBA wanted him to go to the San Antonio Spurs. It was amazing. I don't think, as far as I'm concerned, this draft is not, the lottery is not working because, again, the team with the worst record is not getting the number 1 pick. As a matter of fact, the Detroit Pistons, if I'm not mistaken, I think they slipped to either number 4 or number 5, and they had the worst record. So it's not working. But anyway, let's get back to this conversation between Brandon Miller and Scoot Henderson. Well, again, like I said, Scoot was the consensus number 2 at the start of the season, but there's been people leaning more towards Miller as the number 2. I think on most of the mock drafts, they have the Charlotte Hornets picking number 2, and they're going to pick Miller. And it makes sense for them to pick Miller because Miller is a wing who can create for himself. And the fact that the Charlotte Hornets already have a point guard that they are not going to get rid of, that's LaMelo Ball, who is he's not a great three-point shooter. And some of the problems with Scoot Henderson, I knew I was going to say Scoop Jackson, but his name is Scoot Henderson. The problem with Scoot Henderson, he is a little bit undersized as a point guard, and he cannot shoot the three-point shot. Now, he is not really that great of a shooter. So, to be honest with you, he will struggle with shooting 3. So, I mean, what you going to do? He's going to be the number 2 pick, and you're going to have him sitting behind LaMelo Ball? I mean, you're not going to get rid of LaMelo Ball. I just unfortunately don't think that both of them can play together because you need some more shooting. Now, LaMelo Ball is more of a dynamic guard, point guard, than Scoot is. But to me, it would be a waste for the Hornets to get Henderson and have him playing behind LaMelo Ball unless you plan to trade LaMelo. Now, yes, LaMelo has been hurt for 2 consecutive seasons now. So, man, you never know what's going on. He had a bad ankle sprain. If I'm not mistaken, he had he did a broken arm or something prior to that. So, so maybe they will consider him, but I don't think they would. I think they need to go with with Miller. Miller is the quintessential forward in today's NBA. He is a stretch 4, stretch 5 type of play, not 5, stretch 4 type of player. He can shoot from the outside. So that's what they need. They need shooting. I wish the Knicks could go and grab Miller. I mean, he's a good shooter. He's a power forward who can play a wing, who can play defense too. So to me, it is Miller time. All right, but this is where we flip the script. Scoot, there it is. Scoot, there it is. All right, Spitface defend.
Okay. Now, would Henderson be a fit with LaMelo? They would fit in just fine. They could both share the rock. And moving LaMelo off the ball here and there will lead to more catch-and-shoot situations, which is something he really hasn't been able to do a lot of in his first 3 seasons with the club. Henderson, okay, can get to the rim to compensate for Melo's inability to consistently finish at the basket. And on the other hand, LaMelo's shooting efficiency makes up for Henderson's shot making, which is still a work in progress. Now, Ball, unlike his daddy, is an unselfish player. He don't need the ball in his hands all the time, James Harden, and neither does Scoot. So, this might be a match made in heaven. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
Okay, a match made in heaven. Well, yeah, because you have to look at the match. Now, it would be difficult for LaMelo Ball and Scoot Henderson to be paired up in the backcourt together. But you want to know, like you said, Spitface, it can work. Hey, people didn't think Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, 2 small guards, could be in the backcourt together, and guess what? It worked just fine for them. Unfortunately, it didn't work for them against the Knicks, but it worked for them. They did get 4th place in the Eastern Conference at the beginning of this, as far as before the playoffs. But Scoot Henderson is a crafty player that can get to the rim. He's not a great outside shooter, but he can at least get to the rim. So you would have a double threat between Scoot Henderson and LaMelo Ball as far as driving to the basketball, back to the lane, penetrating, kicking it out to the other shooters that they have, and they can play off of each other, yes, because they can do pick and rolls between the 2 of them, and even though both of them are a little bit difficult when it comes to shooting from the outside, there's other ways to score, and you would want more of the guards to penetrate, to kick it out to the other players to shoot, and that's what both of them can do. And Henderson, even though he is a small guard, he does play great defense. He can, he does a lot of stealing the ball. So I look for them to draft Scoot Henderson, and they need to have a backup because LaMelo is always injured too. That's another issue when it comes to LaMelo Ball. He's been injured lately, and you just unfortunately you have to have that backup point guard. And I just think what's happening with the Hornets, Terry Rozier wasn't great at the point guard position. So that's where Scoot Henderson can come in. So, Scoot, there it is. Scoot, there it is. It's there for the Charlotte Hornets to draft him, and that's what's going to happen. All right, Spitface, please take us to break.
All right, on the other side of the break, we have another performance from Will Downing on Shout Out Part 2. Please keep those ears on those speakers and stay tuned.
Welcome back. the music flows from around the globe to get a shout-out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
All right. We have another performance from Mr. Will Downing, the Prince of Sophisticated Soul. DJ, let's hear Love on You.
Girl, don't deny me. Let me give your body what it needs. My love can go so deep. Baby, just give in to me. I know what you heard from the rest. Baby, come and get it from the best. Love you from head to toe. I know what I gotta do to impress. Come and put my love to the test. Satisfaction you've never known. I just wanna love on you. You know what I wanna do. I just wanna love on you. You know that you want me to. I just wanna. Let me take your mind away. Love it when I hold you real close. Can't you feel how bad I want you, baby? The way you move your body, yeah, it's getting me excited. I'm about to lose control. Filling me with fire, burning with desire. I can't wait to let go. I just wanna love on you. You know what I wanna do. I just wanna love on you. You know that you want me to. I just wanna love on you. You know what I wanna do. You want me to. I just wanna suck up on your lips, babe. Make you throw your head back. Grab you from your hips. I know you like it like that. Lay you on your side, or from the front to the back. Make it feel so good. I wanna love on you like that.
All right. That was Love on You Is the track getting a shout out or the mute button? You know, before I check in with First Lady, Will, you and your freaky self. Now, Will, you ain't nothing but a big freak. You know, yes, you is. You just letting it out a little bit there, just throwing it all on the line. Now, the other thing is that, you know, sometimes I look at the younger generation, and I feel like they kind of missing out on some guidance. See, when you have singers like Will Downing and other folks who tell you what to do, you could just put the album on, listen, and follow some directions. You know, a lot of the newer stuff. Shoot, you try to figure out what it is, you know. So, but I'm giving the song a shout out. We'll see how particular the First Lady is. First Lady, what's the verdict?
Oh, well, definitely shouted. I actually like the second song better than I did the first song. And and you know what? I just love the fact that he was doing a little rapping, but his rapping is, you know, it was that sexy type of rapping, not no hardcore rapping in the song. I like that part there. That was nice how he did that. He added that little flavor to his music. I don't think I ever have a song with him, Will Downing, doing that particular thing in it. So I enjoyed it. Definitely shouting it out.
I guess that's why he's the prince of sophisticated soul. And to borrow a line, smooth talking with a rap so sweet, the ladies call him the candy talker. So, so we'll just roll with that. Now, that is the end of shout out. If you liked what you heard from Will Downing, check him out on the princeofsophisticatedsoul.com. That's the Prince of sophisticatedsoul.com and the Old Grumpy Radio Network. If you would like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to talent@oldgrumpyradio.com. First Lady, over to you.
Okay, it's time for the hardwood picks, and let's go over some results. So currently I have the results from the first round and the second round results. Haven't gotten in any of the third round results yet. The production crew is a little bit behind. So anyway, so let's get to the first round results. Spitface and me, we both had 500,000 points. Dizzy Mac had a negative 500,000 points. For the second round, I didn't fare too well. I had a negative 750,000 points. Spitface and Dizzy Mac had 0 points. So, current standing, Spitface is leading with 500,000 points. I'm next with minus 250,000 points. And Dizzy Mac has minus 500,000 points. All right, so let's get to the new picks. So we are in game, let's do it. It's game 4 for the Lakers and the Nuggets. Okay, so in game 4, Anthony Davis. These are actually props. What's wrong?
You might want to let them know what we picked for the game 3, because these are actually props for game 3. Even though a game got played, we got the picks in for it, though.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me see if I. All right. Let me just give me a few minutes. That's what you meant.
We could,
all right. Hold on.
Yeah, we could say what they. I wouldn't have to give what we put in.
Okay, I mean we could. I actually have them. I just
okay.
I actually have them. Give me a few minutes. Let me get to game 3. All right. So, actually, was it game 3 or game?
It's game 3.
You know what? Let me see. Okay, that's game. Okay, game 3. Here we go. Actually, yeah. Okay, you know what? You're right. Game 3, it was Nuggets versus Lakers. All right. So I don't have those. I didn't put those picks in as of yet. That was my mistake. I didn't put. Did we? We already gave our tickets. We already gave our picks. We did it offline, is what we did it. But we already did. So we already did it offline. But I don't have it organized right now.
Okay. For game 3. For game 3, the Nuggets versus the Lakers.
Okay, you just want Nuggets. You just want me to tell what the game 3 picks are, even though I don't have what we picked. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, Nuggets versus the Lakers. So the prop from game 3 is Anthony Davis over, under, or push 35 points. LeBron James.
I went with under.
Right, that's what I was trying to tell you. I don't have those now.
Okay, but First Lady, I got them, so I'll go ahead.
Okay, you got them. Go ahead. All right, okay, go ahead.
I'll
you
go ahead and give them play.
Okay.
Okay, we can. Okay, for game 3, and we realized Nuggets Lakers already played. But what we put in was for the game 3, I went with the Nuggets. Okay, and the First Lady went with, let's see. The First Lady went with the Lakers, and Dizzy Mack went with the Lakers. Okay. Now, for game 3, the Knicks versus Heat.
No, it's not.
I've been Knicks crazy,
not
but the Celtics
versus the Heat.
Right, the Celtics versus the Heat. Now, I went with the Celtics, and First Lady went with the Celtics, and Dizzy Mack went with the Celtics. Okay? Now, the props, and those are plus or minus 500,000. So it's big point. Things is going to be shaken up after this weekend. Now, the props for game 3, Anthony Davis, and this is over under push, 35 points. I went with the under. First Lady went with the under. Dizzy Mack went with the under. For LeBron James, 3 rebounds. I went with the over. First Lady went with the over. And Dizzy Mack went with the over. All righty. For the Joker, over under push, 35 points. I went with the under. First Lady went with the under. And Dizzy Mack went with the over. Dizzy Mack went with the over. Okay, all right. For, Jamal Murray. For the first round, Jamal Murray. Over under push. 22 points. I went with the over. First Lady went with the over. Dizzy Mack went with the over. Jimmy Butler, over under push, 5 rebounds. I'm going with the push. First Lady is going with the over. First Lady going with the over. And Dizzy Mack is going with the over. For, where they go? Okay. Kevin Love, over under 10 points. I'm going with the over. First Lady is going with the under. And Dizzy Mack is going with the over. Now where it go? Okay. I got Jason Tatum, over under 30 points. I'm going with the over. First Lady is going with the over. Dizzy Mack is going with the under. And then Jalen Brown.
I'm sorry,
which one? Jalen Brown. Brown. Okay, Jaylen Brown, the over-under push, 22 points. I'm going with the push. First Lady is going with the over. And Dizzy Mack is going with the under. And we will... so that was our offline picks to bring us up to date, First Lady.
Okay. So we're up to date. All right, so let's get to our top stories. The top story of the day is the passing of the legendary running back and activist Jim Brown. He surely will be missed. He was one of the greatest running backs of all time. He only, played 9 years, I believe, and then he left to become an actor, and he was always an activist, always fighting for people's rights, and he is truly to be commended, and he lived a very important life in our population, when it comes to pop culture and the sports culture. He was just more than an athlete. He was one of those athletes on the lines of Muhammad Ali and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and, of course, the late, great Bill Russell. Spitface, you have anything you want to say regarding Jim Brown?
When you look at the videos of Jim Brown, and you think of the guys he played against on defense, and these was and the fact that there were so many things that you could do that today they don't allow. Because the sport evolves and safety, and so it's just miraculous he had that type of career, and the fact that he did something so few professional athletes could do, and given the times for a black person, literally amazing. He was at the top of his career and said, nope, I'm going to go do something totally different, and I'm going to be successful at it. And success is like dollar bill, baby, dollar bill. So he left the NFL at the top of his game, went into an acting career, and part of the reason he left was they gave him a choice. They said, look, either come and play football, or you're going to have to make a move. And he said, I'm going to make the move. Not because y'all are demanding it, but I get y'all need me to be here, but I'm on this movie set, and I see this as the future, and I don't have to take no hits. I don't have to, be called racist names in stadiums. I can just deal with it, Plus, at that point, he was becoming more and more of an activist in the in the world, and back then the way the NFL was set up, it was that wasn't the place to be. I'll put it like that. And I think people would be really surprised at how much activist he really was. But what I really, really appreciate about Jim Brown is 3 the Hard Way. That was just one of my favorite movies. That's all I'm saying, First Lady.
Okay. All right. And also definitely have to give a shout-out to Brittany Griner, who returned to her first game back to WNBA. Obviously, Brittany Griner had spent many months in Russia prison as she was illegally detained. And this was her first game back. The WNBA opened up their season. It was on Friday, and Griner returned to a standing ovation from the crowd. And she poured in a team high 18 points with 6 rebounds and 2 assists in her return. Unfortunately, the Phoenix Mercury lost to the Sparks, the Los Angeles Sparks, 94-71. But it wasn't because of Brittany. Brittany really played well, considering that she really was out for so long. and she missed the whole season last year. So kudos to Brittany Griner. She's back in action, and we're just so glad to have her back in the United States. And there was a lot of issue about it. She did stand for the national anthem, and she was proud to be American. All right, join us as we honor our veteran women and veteran women with disabilities. To learn more, please visit honorourveteranwomen.com, honorourveteranwomen.com. Check out our current and previous episodes at Bras, Panties, and Sports.com and our Facebook page, BP and Sports. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, and Spitface. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports.